What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about MicroStrategy today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It is Sunday. It's Sunday evening, right? It's right before the stock week's about to open. MicroStrategy hasn't made any moves because it was the weekend, right? But I do think it's important to talk about this thing, even though it hasn't moved over the past couple days. It's important to talk about it, get our heads right, get our minds straight for the coming week. Maybe establish a game plan. I want to do videos like this right before the beginning of the week, every week for MicroStrategy. I think they might be helpful in just getting our heads screwed on right. So if that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe if you want more content like this. Leave in the comments. I want to know, am I bombarding you guys with too much MicroStrategy content? You know, it's enough talking about it basically 5 days a week whenever it's operating. Is it worth talking about it on the weekends too, or is it too much? Let me know if I need to hold back, I will. I know you guys do seem to appreciate the MicroStrategy content, so I put it out there. But I really do think that, you know, regardless of what people may or may not think, I think that it's a good thing to get your kind of game plan set up for the week to come, especially if you're doing short-term moves or looking to make a move like a purchase or a sell, any kind of thing like that. So again, enough talking. Let's just get into this. Okay? None of this financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Again, whenever it comes to selling or buying, that's all up to you. That's not up to me. You're at $328 now. Okay, to start the week, who knows where you're going to be? Will you gap up? Will you gap down? Will you start around here? Something around here. But I would assume, you know, if anything, Bitcoin, let's see, where were you on Friday? Friday, you closed the price at 94.7K. We're at 94K now. We're likely going to move up by that time. So MicroStrategy, if anything, it might gap down. Maybe it gaps up a little bit, but you're probably going to be basically at the same price. I suspect Bitcoin is going to move up next week. I think that this week, by the end of the week, we will be up above $100,000 by the end of the week. So that kind of movement in Bitcoin, just from its current price, would reflect in something of like a 10% move, a little bit below 10%. So maybe with MicroStrategy, what we see is something a little bit below 20% of a move, something that might take it up to about $400 or higher, maybe. Let's see if we take a high to low here on the fibs, high to low. Right above $400 is your golden ratio there. So maybe you're here by the end of the week. If not, sometime next week, I would assume. But I wouldn't be surprised if MicroStrategy was at 424 to 444 to finish this week off. And there's a couple reasons for that. For one, I mean, it makes sense. It's your golden ratio. It's previous areas of resistance. That makes sense. For two, this is the first week, you guys, and man, this screen is blinding. This should come with the warning every single time I pull this up. But this is the first week in like 3 weeks that we've had the put to call ratio at a positive, at an over 100% ratio. So there's more puts expiring this week here than there are calls, right? And not only that, but this is some of the largest amount of puts and calls that we've had expiring. I do want to say that the puts have basically stayed the same over the past couple of weeks, I've noticed, as far as like total volume goes, and it's the calls that have been added to. So that's not encouraging, but while the puts do outweigh the calls, that is a little bit encouraging. That does give me some hope that this week, even if we don't see crazy, phenomenal bullish expectations, I suspect that this week might be more bullish than what we've seen over the past 3 weeks, which I don't think that's asking for much, right? I mean, 3 weeks ago, from a high to a low, we dropped 10%. Last week, from a high to a low, we dropped 17%. The week that we were at our low, we first dropped a ton, and then we bounced, and we pulled up 19% overall. That's nice. I'm expecting something that's bigger than any of these weeks, but to the upside, right? So likely we will see something that's on the verge of like 20% or more. That lines up well, right? 20% at 395. We were talking about targets that were just above $400, so something like that at the top of this range, that makes sense to me. By the end of the week, I suspect we will be at 420 or higher for MicroStrategy. I have a very strong suspicion of that, and it really does, I think, revolve around this. Now, just because there's more puts than calls doesn't mean we have to have a green week. We could have a red week. It can happen, right? We had more calls than puts on this green week here, and we still had a green week, right? So, but I do think that we're going to go higher. I think if we look at this most recent kind of range, high to low here, we go here, we go from the 2272 to the 1618. The next expectation would be when we move out of this zone, $604, then $725, then $847. You break above that, it's all the way up to like $1,200 and beyond, right? And we obviously have other significant readings. Talking about getting our mind right, looking at the prize ahead. The 1618 is the area that you just stopped at. Went down to the 1414 to find support. Next area would be the 1886 to 200, which does encapsulate the 3886 to 3786 area here. So around around 1,000 to 1,300 would be the next stopping point, and I think we'll achieve that by the end of February, if not sometime in like mid-March. But I do think it'll be by the end of February that we're there. By the end of this week, the expectation is to be somewhere around 420 to 450. You're at 327 now. And then maybe to start tomorrow off, I would assume you do move up a little bit, right? You probably open up the day basically at the same price, but you probably do move up. I don't know how much, but I plan on buying some MicroStrategy tomorrow. I do plan on opening some call options. I will let you guys know. And if you don't follow me on X, follow me on X, because I'll make these posts whenever they happen. Yeah, see, like that was my last one on the 10th a couple days ago there, just talking about buying some Sandbox. Whenever I do a sell, when I do a purchase, when I do any kind of anything, unless I think it's insignificant, like if it's just like a quick short little day trade, I don't want people to get caught up in it. You know, I'll do that on my own, just like in private. But whenever it's something significant with my portfolio, which is what I plan on doing, it's not like significant as in like 20 to 30% of my portfolio. What I'm putting into MicroStrategy tomorrow isn't even going to be like 5% of my portfolio, right? But to me, that's still significant. Something that's like more than 2%, more than 1% is significant enough. But I do post all the significant things, in my opinion, on X.com. So follow me at Chris Harris 85 if you'd like to. You don't have to, but just if you want to be aware of what my strike price was, what the expiry was. I'll tell you guys all that stuff in the videos. But if you don't want to wait for the videos, you can't wait till whatever time of day it is where you are. You don't want to wait. You want to do it earlier than that. Then just look at my X.com. I'll keep you guys up to date with that as well. But I don't really know if I have anything else that I want to say, guys. I'm running out of thoughts here. I'll let you know when I'm buying, where I'm buying, right? I'm buying tomorrow. I just don't know what the strike price will be. Probably around here. If I can get it lower, if I see tomorrow open up at lower prices, I'm going to try to snag that as quickly as I can, man. If it's even at a little bit higher prices, I'm going to snag it. I'm just going to get in basically right in at the open there. So unless we have something crazy happen, but I don't think we're going to have anything crazy happen over, you know, anything can change at any given moment. But I'm just rambling at this point, guys. So game plan, 327, 328 right now. By the end of the week, the expectation is to be at 424 to 444, somewhere in that area by the end of this week. And then by the end of the month, we're looking to reach as high as 473, if not 543, somewhere in that area by the end of the month. Going into February, reaching for new all-time highs, seeing prices probably around $1,000, if not more. If you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.